I know you guys absolutely love football trading, and I completely agree. It is a great aspect of Betfair and a great aspect of using football knowledge to try and make some profit. But for some people, it can be a little bit hard to grasp exactly what it is and how you can get better at it, how you can learn the strategies. So today I'm showing you guys a platform called Sportsbroker, which tries to bridge the gap. It tries to make it a bit more entry level and allows you to actually use trading knowledge and football knowledge to have kind of a share stock market of football clubs available to you. So if you just look here behind me, you can see £100 first trade trial means there is no risk to joining this platform. So if you want to get started straight away before even watching this video, click the link down in the description and get started straight away. But you can see here, join Sportsbroker, make your first trade, and if the team drops in value after their first match, they'll refund you any losses that you get up to a minimum or a maximum, I should say, of £100. So if you're even not certain about the platform but still want to give it a go, you can put in up to £100, put it all on one team and not worry about losing any money after the first match. But today, we're going to be going through 3 strategies that Sportsbroker themselves recommend you do to try and make some money on their platform. The 3 strategies, I've tried all of them. They're all very easy to follow and easy to understand, and it makes it really enjoyable to try and decipher how a team's going to play the following weekend, how their share prices are going to change, and how their performances themselves are going to adjust how much they cost, and just to try and generally make some money from the football yet again in a bit more of an easier, simplified way. So let me get logged in and show you guys how I've been getting on with Sportsbroker. So in case you're wondering exactly how Sportsbroker works, if you just see here between West Ham and Leicester, we've got that game coming up tonight. You can see straight away by loading up the 2 teams that we've got a buy price, a sell price for each of the 2 teams. So you can see what they're going for. We've got 53 minutes till kick-off. And basically how the share price adjusts is based on the performance of the teams. So if West Ham start off the game playing well, have more shots, have better possession, loads of other things add this up. By the way, I'll show you in just a second with an example. But the better a team plays, the higher their share price is going to go up. And along with that, the more the other team's share price is going to drop down. You could get a 0-0 game where one team comes off better than the other, because it isn't just about the results, it's about the performance, which is exactly why one of the strategies is so useful. But we'll get onto them strategies in just a minute. Once you've bought some shares in some teams, you can see them over in the My Team section. You can see the current profit and loss of each team that you have. You can see the shares that you own, how much you bought them for, what their current value is. Now mine's a bit different, so you can see here, for example, I purchased £1.25 of Aston Villa's shares, and now they're valued at £11.61. This is a little bit messed up just because of the fact that when I purchased my shares in these teams about 3 weeks ago now, Sportsbroker have since updated the website massively, which just shows how they're constantly improving this site and really on the ball with trying to make sure it's up to date. So when I bought my shares for these teams, you could only actually buy a whole share at a time. Since then, they've adjusted it and made it so you can actually buy fractional shares, which makes it 100 times better. It just means that all my stats over here look a bit different and complicated. If you want a true, clear example of a share, then look at the Manchester City one, which I bought after they updated the fractional shares option. So you can see I bought £5.51 worth of Manchester City. They since played Norwich. The share price has gone up, and I have also had my value of the shares I've bought go up to £6.37, which is an 85p profit just from that one game against Norwich. You can also see the history of some of my shares. I bought some shares in Peterborough when they were about to play Derby because I thought they'd do well. For anyone who knows how that game went, you'll know I was a bit worried towards the end of that game. But you can see I bought the shares for £2.90 and sold them for £3.31, so I made a nice little profit there. We also bought some shares in Brighton for £10.76, sold them for £11.56 up there. So a nice little profit with them teams as well. So just to show you guys here how it changes when the game is actually going on, you can see the Manchester City game here alongside Norwich, where we actually had our stake in the game. You can see Man City were 2-0 up, and as the game is going on, it shows you guys exactly how much the share price has changed throughout the course of that game. So you can see here Manchester City had gone up by 9%, or each share gone up by £12.73, whereas over with Norwich, their share price had gone down by 37% and dropped down by £15. So a huge drop there. And you can even look into more detail down below and see the exact stats that are happening, exactly how many shares you own, your profit and loss, everything like that about the teams. And you can even see here, just if I show you guys what I was going on about with it being 0-0, you can see if we look down, for example, at my team, Middlesbrough, you can see, although they were drawing 0-0 with Derby, Middlesbrough had made a profit on their share price. It had gone up by 3p, whereas Derby had gone down by 4p, because Middlesbrough were performing a little bit better at the time. So in a way, it is very similar to Betfair trading. It's not about the result or the end result of the trade by the end of it, or the end result of the game even. It's about the performance and how it goes. If there is a team that you think goes into a game as an underdog but will start off the game well, you can actually buy their shares, sit on them for the first 10-20 minutes of the game, hope they're playing well, and then sell them off before they end up losing the game. And that is one of the strategies Sportsbroker recommends. They recommend going with the underdog, even if you don't think the underdog will win the game or even draw the game. And the perfect example of that is this Bristol City-Swansea City game. Bristol City haven't won a home game in, I think it's 13 matches now. So they obviously went into this game as the underdog. It's as simple as that. So 2 minutes before the game, they were the underdog. One of Sportsbroker's strategies is to buy the shares of the underdog who you think will start off well. I thought Bristol City would start this game off well. They're at home, crowds are back. They have to put on a good performance for the crowds. And you'll notice here, 11 minutes into the game, you can see that Bristol City's price has gone up. It's gone up by 27p a share. Not that huge of an increase, but they have gone up because they did start off fairly well. So at this point, you could then sell on your shares for a little bit of profit, or you could keep them on and see how the game goes. But this is a perfect strategy. Buy on the underdog, sitting on the shares, hoping they start off well, and then eventually, once you've got your profit locked in, sell them off. Now, eventually in this game, you can see here Swansea did take the lead, so that massively impacted the share price. You can see their shares shot up 10%, Bristol's went down 4%, and that went on as Swansea eventually drew the game out and continued to win. But if you can't actually watch the game as it's going on, you do not need to worry, because Sportsbroker, as you can see here, provide in-game live stats showing you guys exactly what's going on. So it is absolutely perfect for you to be able to keep track of anything that's happening in the game. A strategy that I'm sure some of you guys will also really enjoy doing is just the long-term strategy. Just buying a team's shares because you know they've either got a good run of fixtures or you think they're going to have a good season, holding onto the shares for as long as you feel comfortable, and then selling them on for a profit. It's exactly what I intend to do with West Brom. So for example, with West Brom down here, as you can see, if I go over to my history, I bought them for £16.46. I've kept them for a few weeks now, and if I wanted to, I could sell them for £21.44, which is a nice profit of nearly £5 now, just off 3 weeks of holding very little money in their shares. So that's a perfect other strategy you can use. You can just hold on for either a good run of fixtures or what you think will be a good season, and it doesn't even matter if one result comes in and derails that. You can still hold on for it longer. One result no longer kills your trade like it would with Betfair trading. One result might be the perfect opportunity here for you to be able to buy shares in a team that isn't playing well. For example, I bought my shares in Manchester City just after their loss to Tottenham. If they'd have beaten Tottenham, I wouldn't have made as much profit as I have done because their shares obviously wouldn't have dropped. So it's also a good opportunity to keep an eye out for teams who you think might be underperforming at the moment, who long term are going to go on to do well, because you can get their share prices fairly cheap. If you want to see all the other teams that are available, you just come over to the market section. You can see the full Premier League teams are available here, as are the full Championship teams as well. I believe Sportsbroker will more than definitely be looking to extend this as well. The final strategy though that Sportsbroker recommend, which is a bit more of a complicated one to wrap your head around, but it is also a really good strategy, is looking at the team's share distribution. So if we look here at the Liverpool game and the Burnley game, you can see Burnley have 21 shares allocated, whereas Liverpool only have 10. You can use this and kind of exploit the market in a weird way. So as you can see here, Liverpool took the lead. Burnley have more shares, but their share price is obviously dropping. So each of these Burnley shares, each of these 21 Burnley shares has dropped down by £6. And the Liverpool shares, because there are less shares on the market, get more profit from that, because they are getting more than one share's worth of value. So for example, if Liverpool and Burnley had the exact same amount of shares, it would be a very even trade. You would have £1 lost for a share at Burnley and £1 gained for a share over at Liverpool. But when you've got a situation like this, where Burnley have more shares, you have to take all the money that is getting lost from all of them shares and then give it to the Liverpool shares. So when one of the shares at Burnley loses £1, that gets divided differently between the shares at Liverpool because there are less shares there. So if you hold a share in Liverpool, you're essentially getting double the amount that is coming from the Burnley shares because of how the shares are distributed. I know that might be a bit hard to wrap your head around, but trust me, you'll get the hang of it once you're on the platform yourself. The way it's distributed means that when Liverpool took the lead, because Liverpool have less shares, it's a smaller pool of players, where you are a smaller pool of shares, I should say, which is getting the same amount of money. So if the shares are similar, if a team has similar shares to the team they're playing, it'll be an even switch and you'll basically get whatever the other shares are losing. But when there are less shares available compared between the two teams, so one team has 10 shares, one has 20, you're essentially getting twice as much as what you would in other games. I hope I haven't messed up how I'm explaining that. You'll see when you start playing yourself how easy it is to understand. But that is it. There's nothing else to go into. It is very simple, very easy to use. You can buy whatever shares you want in whatever teams. You can sell either after the games or as the games are going on. You can play and really micromanage your shares and adjust as games happen and adjust as teams perform better or worse. Or you can leave it in for the long haul and choose 2 or 3 teams you think will have a good run of fixtures, sell them shares and then invest the new profit into the next group of teams you think are going to have a good fixture. It's the perfect opportunity to be able to use the football market as a stock market. It's the perfect bridge between the two. You don't have to learn to fully micromanage like you do with football trading. You don't have to learn a completely new market if you were going over to stocks and shares. It's the perfect mix of the two of them, and I hope you guys look forward to using the platform. If you do, please be sure to use the link in the description. I do get a little bit of a cut, as I always tell you guys, but that will not be hidden. That will be in the monthly roundup videos, so you don't have to worry about me getting more than what I deserve. But if you do enjoy the platform, please do let me know, and I'll do more videos on this. If you've got any questions, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be sure to try and help you guys out with them questions and get you guys some answers. But I hope you've enjoyed. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.